Alright, so it looks like Embark finally pushed out its first balance change. And yes, what everyone's thinking, the Venator got nerfed. But maybe not in the way you were thinking. And there's some like bug fixes and some pretty good changes. And the new legendary pulse rifle, Aphelion, is finally dropping from the matriarch. So the community should be seeing gameplay on that like super soon. But let's read the full patch notes. All right, the first thing is they increased how much the deadline costs. It was 8,100 and now it's actually 15,000. So it's quite an expensive price. And they did make it sell more. The sell value is now 5,000 instead of 3,000. They changed the crafting recipe. It was 2 explosive compound and 1 synthesized fuel. It's now 3 explosive compound and 2 arc circuitry. And one of the biggest nerfs, you could buy 3, now you can only buy 1. I guess this is okay rather than them actually nerfing it because it does so much damage. They just, made it cost super expensive and you can only buy 1 a day now. I'd rather this, but it does suck they made the deadline less acquirable. Alright, real quick before the video continues, I wanted to thank you guys for the support you've been showing me on, all of the Arc Raiders content that I've been doing. I've been getting so much support in the recent videos that I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys are enjoying the channel or enjoying this video, like, subscribe, stick around. I'm doing update videos, guide videos, and I'm even doing entertaining videos, which my entertaining videos really haven't picked up traction, but they're getting there thanks to you guys. It really does mean the world that you guys are watching, so let's get back into the video. They made power cells that you get from Arc. Like dead Arc, when you like loot them, they get power cells that can recharge your shield. The sell value is now 270 coins instead of 640, which you shouldn't be selling these things anyways. Make some shield rechargers or something. For launcher ammo for the Hullcracker, they did increase the buy value a little bit, but they made it easier to buy a stack. So before you could only buy 10 at a time, you couldn't buy a stack, which is like 24. You could only buy like 30. So you would have to spend 18,000 for like 30 rounds. Now you have to spend 18,000 for 24 rounds. So you're spending more money and getting less. Because it's no longer 10 at a time, it's actually 6. So you can buy it in stacks of 6, which equals up to like 24 in a stack. So they gave you quality of life of buying a stack, but they made you like, you're losing out on some launcher ammo and paying the same price. They increased the sale value by 50. I know, it's huge. They also changed the crafting recipe. Before, it was super easy with 4 metal parts and explosive compound. Now it's 1 arc motion core and 2 crude explosives. So I feel like overall, the deadline and launcher ammo got, a slight nerf. Because, they're just playing out harder to obtain now. Rather it be like harder by a little bit or a lot, it's still, harder. And finally, what everybody's waiting for, the Venator nerf. And here's what the devs had to say about the Venator. The fully upgraded Venator has been overperforming recently, capable of outgunning full squads using close range weapons. We're retuning the fire rate gained from upgrades to pull down the pacing a bit, while still keeping its damage and accuracy intact. This should encourage players to take some more time with their shots, rather than mag dumping the first poor soul they see. The community also rightfully pointed out that the weight of the Venator was inconsistent with other pistols, so the fire rate for the Venator got a 20% nerf. So now it's 13, 26, and 40% for the fire rate buffs, instead of 22, 44, and 60. And they increased the weight by 3 pounds. I feel like this is like a slap on the wrist. Sure, they nerfed the fire rate by 20%, but it's still going to be doing absurd amount of damage. If you're landing headshots, you are gone, you're deleted. Even if you get in a few, like boom, 1 or 2 headshots and like a body shot, you're gone. Well, that's an over exaggeration, but I'm saying it's still does a lot of damage. I wish they nerfed the damage like a little bit, probably like 1 or 2 points, not even a lot. But hey, we'll see soon how the community reacts to the Venator nerf. We'll see if people are still pulling off like crazy clips with the Venator. Alright, next we have explosive damage. We've noticed that explosives dealt more damage to more parts than once, allowing weapons like the Hullcracker to kill larger drones quickly. We've adjusted damage to make sure it's more consistent across the board, and we rebalanced the damage of the Hullcracker to account for that change. This will require Hullcracker shots to be a bit more precision while still doing good damage to the targeted spot. Man, everything's getting nerfed, isn't it? We got the Venator nerf, we got explosive nerf, we got the deadline nerf, some things cost more. Like all these changes and nerfs aren't gonna hurt the middle and like high tier players. It's really gonna hurt like the lower end people. They're gonna feel it way more than the players that already established and like well off and have like resources. This update's gonna hurt like the little guy more than anything. Rebalance explosive damage against arc for a more consistent experience. Explosions on smaller enemies, turrets are largely unaffected. Explosions on larger sized enemies like the Bastion will typically deal less damage. So that was all the balance changes, which were all nerfs. The only good nerf, I think, was the Venator, which I think they need to nerf the fire rate a little bit more and make it to where 1 shot actually counts as 2 bullets, so it like burns through ammo. But hey, that's just my opinion. Now it's to the content and bug fixes. They fixed the bug where Arc could call down reinforcements outside the map. I didn't even know it could do that. We have some bug fixes for the Shredder. Shredder will now detect and move more reliably towards lower nades. That's insanely helpful if you're just like throwing lure nades or like somebody fight. If you're fighting somebody on Salamantis and you just lure the Shredder towards them, that's gonna be super funny. Shredder movement and handling updated, slightly reduced turn speed, improved braking, stiffer suspension, and more consistent reactions to impacts and steadier behavior in combat. This is good because whenever you threw a grenade or like blew up the Shredder, he would like go flying across the room. Improve Shredder navigation to prevent it from getting stuck on corners when moving towards the player. So what that means is he's gonna be better at tracking your ass down. That's what it means. For audio, they reduced the explosion sound, like the ringing in your ears, which, you know, that's great. Nobody likes that sound. That sound sucks. Here goes the map changes. They fixed the barricade glitch so you can't go into locked rooms anymore. That's, you know, amazing. So many people got free loot off of that barricade glitch. In Dam Battlegrounds, they fixed an issue where players would get stuck in the Dam control tower elevator shaft. In Spaceport, they added collision to the staircase, walls, and ceiling in the hidden bunker on Spaceport. Fixed an issue where players could enter the wall near the launch tower ramp on Spaceport. Also, they fixed where players can get into the control tower room without a key. On Bluegate, they fixed railing props from blocking bullets, which is really good because on I think it's Pilgrim's Peak, there's like these little flags, and if you shoot somebody through them, it hits the flag and like your bullet just like impacts. You can't shoot through them. Here's some fixes on Salamantis. Collision issues on Salamantis near the train station that would cause players to fall through the map. Fix the Salamantis train station where players would get stuck. Remove 2 player spawns that were too close to arc spawns. They really need to take a look at the spawns on Salamantis. That place is really bad for spawns. Fixed missing visibility collision on walls in the business area of Salamantis that allowed players to shoot through. And for weapons, finally we have the Aphelion. It is now in the game. You actually get it from defeating the Monarch, or the Matriarch, sorry. I always get those two mixed up, Monarch, Matriarch. But how to get this blueprint is you loot the ball of the Matriarch, and the Aphelion blueprint drops from, you know, the core of the Matriarch. And for the Stitcher, they corrected player-facing stats for the Stitcher, showing incorrect scaling of reload time across updated levels, or upgrade levels, my bad. And they also released an update so you can see all of the ducks that you've acquired. So, you know, if you have like 1,000 ducks, they will literally show up in your raider hideout. I'm gonna edit this patch update a little bit differently than how I usually do it. Before I would just go on the website and like, you know, read it off. This time I'm gonna have constant gameplay, and then I'm gonna have and then I'll just have like the dev notes and like patch updates just pop up on the screen. You can check out my last patch update video and, you know, let me know which one you prefer. But yeah, you guys let me know in the comments down below. Are you feeling these changes at all? And have you gotten the new Aphelion blueprint? If you do, please let me know below. I want to know if it's actually dropping. If you enjoyed this patch update video, like, subscribe. It really does help me out a lot. I've been having so much support on just Arc Raiders in general. Thank you guys. I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers, so if we can hit that goal, that would be amazing. It does absolutely mean the world that you guys watch my videos, and I'm going to keep it up. I'm going to be posting a lot more Arc Raiders content. So thank you guys for watching. My name's Orangey, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.